what distinguishes between actually dating just anybody, because everybody has bad and everybody has good. So if you accept the bad, wouldn't you, typically date anybody if that's the case?
So now, like, I'm hearing what you're saying. No, you don't. Like, no, you don't just date anybody. You choose the people you date.
All right.
So, you seek a partner, you choose a partner, and obviously most of the time you would pick a partner that would be compatible with you and that you're willing to build with. So yeah, so that's how I think about that.
But when you think of good and bad within a relationship, like what would be something good? Like what do you consider something good or something bad? Like bad enough for you to work through it and not, second guess what's going on, or not even second guess, make a decision basically.
Something that, okay. So for example, if a person is on a substance, that would not be a situation that I would be willing to work with. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a deal breaker.
Let's be clear. What substance? Give us some examples of.
Okay. I mean, for me, smoking would be like, let's just say a tobacco or weed or something like that. That would be a deal breaker for me because I don't smoke, so I wouldn't want to date anybody that does smoke.
Okay. That's the only substance?
I mean, heroin, crack, I'm saying, acid, stuff like that, like hard drugs. That would be a no-brainer for me that I would not accept.
So alcohol is cool?
Alcohol would be all right with me, yes.
Yeah. How frequent could they drink?
Socially fine. I mean, I wouldn't want to be with someone who drinks every single day, has to wake up and drink, has to go to work and drink, has to sneak drink. No, that's an alcoholic. So no, that wouldn't be I would not be able to date someone who was an alcoholic.
So define socially, because we have viewers, we have people that listen, and we want to be clear. We like to educate, we like to inform, so we want to make sure all the messages are clear, and you're coming off, as clear as possible.
Right. For me, I mean, a person that drinks on weekends, I don't see a problem with that. I don't see a problem with a weekend drinker. To me, that's socially.
So every weekend they can drink?
That wouldn't bother me, no.
Okay, that's smooth.
So you touched on deal breakers. So is that a conversation that you have? At what point when you're meeting someone, whether it's romantic or friendship, because deal breakers go across the board, or they should, right? They should be reflected in every relationship, right?
Yeah.
However, I do know that when it comes to an intimate partner, a romantic partner, there's certain things that you're definitely, like, you could hang out with someone who smokes, but keep them at a distance, right? They may not necessarily be your friend, they may be an associate, they may not come to your house, but you may kick it with them every so often, right? But when you talk about your deal breakers, at what point in the relationship do you have that conversation?
I think you have that conversation within the first couple of days. As far as a romantic partner, I think if you're meeting someone, like say I met someone last night and we started to, dialogue on the phone, the following day or for that week, I think within that first week, you need to get your deal breaker stuff out. Within the first week, you would know that I wouldn't date anybody that smoked, because that would be a straight up deal breaker for me.
Okay. And what about just like you're really cool with somebody at work, or you meet, you meet a friend, you meet someone that could be a possible friend. At what point in that relationship are you talking about deal breakers?
Say that one more time, sorry.
I said you established a romantic partner, right? So what about someone who's just a friend? At what point are you guys discussing deal breakers?
That's a good question. That's a good question, because I know I have several friends who I hang around with on occasion that they definitely smoke. And kind of what I do is, and I don't even say anything. I kind of remove myself from the room, especially when it starts to bother me and things like that. That's what I would do. Okay, so to answer your question, I think I'm more inclined to tell someone who I'm trying to date romantically how I feel about them, as far as what I'm able to deal with and not deal with, as opposed to a friend who I see on occasion. I do definitely see the, like the differences of the two, but I just think that's me right now. I think that's the direction I would go with. if I'm romantic with you, it'll be within the first week. You know, if we're just acquaintances, there's probably some things I would let slide because of what the situation is.
Well, yeah, I think that, you know, we are taught that, you know, friends are, when you think of priorities, they're not on the higher tier of the priorities, right? So there's not a, like, so basically when we're connecting with people, we're not really thinking about those things per se, unless they're really putting our life in danger, right? But if it's just something like a vice, like smoking cigarettes or smoking weed or drinking or whatever the case may be, we may let that slide, but our significant other, we don't. But I learned over time that everything should mirror each other. So what you expect in your significant other, you should expect in your friends, who you call your friends. Like the people that you see on occasion, are they really your friends, right? They're probably acquaintances. They're not really friends, right? So the people that you truly call your friends, like if you don't want your girl, you know, smoking and drinking, smoking weed or cigarettes or whatever the case may be, then how could you allow your homeboy to come over and spark up a cigarette and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really go together. I learned that over time as well, because we put less pressure on our friends and more pressure on our significant others. And I get it, like we're building a different life with them, right? And we're intimate, so we're kissing and we're doing all these things that we're not necessarily doing with our friends. So someone that smokes cigarettes, that's like, I don't want to kiss you because you're smoking cigarettes, you know what I mean? So the friends, you're like, we don't kiss, whatever. We're not physically that close, so it shouldn't be that big a deal, but it is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just hearing you talk, like I said, I never, and I should moving forward decipher between the two. Is just I'm more inclined to accept and tolerate. That's the word I should use. I'm more, you know, privy to tolerate certain things when we're not in a romantic relationship. But hearing you speak and understanding what you're saying, I should be doing that across the board.